Hello, my Global Echelon family. Here in the United States, this weekend is Memorial Weekend. And I know that whatever country you're from, you have some version of this because Memorial celebration, or I can't call it a celebration, but Memorial Day is about honoring fallen soldiers, fallen members of the military. And so I feel that it's very important for us to kind of look at this whole concept of the glory of war, of the heroes of war, and the concept that, they died protecting their country, yes, from their consciousness, from their perspective they may have. But we, as agents of change, want to bring that to a new level and say, no more war. No more dying young men. I remember the last time I was in Russia, as we were leaving, we were caught behind many trucks full of young soldiers going off to war. It was the first time that mothers demonstrated at the Kremlin against war. And we were caught behind them, and I saw their faces. They looked like they were 16. Very young boys going off to war. And I thought, this has to stop. Whatever the pretext to protect your country, for the sake of your God, for whatever it is not about today's world or the world of tomorrow. The world will pass to our children, who we do not want to, as mothers, as fathers, as friends, as country people, to see them die for any cause, because there is a better way, a more conscious way. So it's Memorial Weekend. It actually began in 1868 when the president decided that we should honor the fallen military people. And then again in 1915, we created a new aspect of Memorial Day, which they called the American Field Service Volunteers. It was about the hospital ambulance drivers, volunteers that went to war, and so they were acknowledging them. And then that evolved into something much more illuminating, which was the American Field Service, which was offered to young people around the world to create a kind of cultural exchange. It says, you don't have to be afraid of us. And my dear friend, Marion Aufhammer from Germany, that you all know, told me that when she was young, she came to the United States as a member of the American Field Service organization, which had evolved into this sort of educational concept of sharing cultures and feeling the young, the vitality of the young, the life of the young, not the death of the young, and to support that. I think as I listened to her that in a way that became perhaps the idea that President Kennedy brought forward for the Peace Corps, which had the same quality of let's take especially the young, but anyone, and send them overseas and say, we want to help you, that we are all in this together, that we are all human, and so we don't have to be afraid of each other. When I think of how we need to restructure this concept of war is essential, war is inevitable, war is the only way, we have to come to that conversation of peace. And I love that my friend Dennis Kucinich, as he ran for president, echoed so many times, let us have departments of peace, where we look at how we dissolve or heal violence in the home, in the communities, in the cultures, and around the world. And this is what it takes. And what I feel about the conversation of peace is very simple. If you can provide and help people to access a sense of safety, they will come to peace. Because war and conflict is all about that a lack of safety, whether that safety is about home or future or food or purpose in life. If you give safety in all of those aspects, purpose in life, then we feel, oh yes, I belong. And if I belong, I can look at you and see your qualities and say, you belong too. And then I know what is true, is that as a soul family, we have come to this planet Earth to be a part of this transition that's going on, this incredible funnel of initiation from which we release the primordial energies of King of the Mountain and I need what you have and I'll take it from you, to a place where I'll share what I have, you share what you have, and we will give our children a new future. So let's do that today. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath into your body. Big breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Feel your brain slowing down into alpha as you exhale. Once again, breathe in. And exhale slowly. And reach up into the cosmos and pull down to you a beautiful beam of white light down through the top of your head, down into your solar plexus, and laser that beam of light out, stretching out your auric field, your presence, your purpose, out across the planet and back into the sky. And once more, drawing the white light down and lasering it out across the planet and back through the sky and into the cosmos. And open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, feel that place that comes into meditative state, that can feel that peace and that safety and that focus. That's who we are as agents of change. But let's begin for this memorial energy, this acknowledging the fallen, those who have died for military purposes. And let's clear the psychogenetics of that. Because even if you are so opposed to war today, you have imprinted from your father's father's father, and perhaps your mother's mother's mother, that imprint that war is inevitable, and that war is the only answer, and that propaganda, as far as I'm concerned, that says there's glory in fighting for your country and dying for your country. No, there is not. That is only because you are incapable, or those that carry the power are incapable of finding solutions that give everyone the right to life. And I do mean everyone. So let's find that spot on your genetic encoding where there's that acceptance for war. Again, if for no other point of reference, we all have that my God against your God energies. Because there have been so many wars that have been fought in the name of God. And so in any lifetimes that you've had in Europe and Asia and anywhere, they have always used God as the weapon to say, this is justified. And for God commands it. No, God does not command it. Why would a creating energy want to destroy its creation? Impossible. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply again. Relax your mind so that no part of you is answering this conversation mentally or resisting, but that you're opening your consciousness to come to a higher place with this whole theme. And now ask your body to show you the point, the psychogenetic point on your DNA where you hold any of these kinds of conversations, that war is inevitable, that there's glory in dying for your country or for God, or that it is necessary for you to do that, to give your children any points of reference. Find that. It could look like a black spot or a tear, a huge shadow, a web, a hole. Just take a deep breath and command that point of psychogenetic inheritance about the importance of war to come to the fore for you. As you focus on however you perceive that, ask your own higher self to show you the brightest, most radiant white light and laser beam it into that point of psychogenetic inheritance for the necessity of war. And feel that laser beam dissolving that. And it may have many layers. It may be so multidimensional. Because again, through your psychogenetic inheritance from your family, from your culture, and from your own incarnations of the soul, many of us have imprints of being gallant warriors. We don't need that today. That's destructive, and it's just a primordial pretext. So laser the white light in there and dissolve away all inheritance of war, the glory of war, the dying for something. A little more, just laser it on there until you feel it. Maybe it's an explosion or suddenly a space opens up or there's nothing but that white light there. Till you know that you've cleansed that from your own psychogenetic inheritance. And then bring your consciousness into the trillions of cells of your body and command the mind of the cell to also have destroyed and dissolved through the light any reference point, any association to that energy of war and dying. And feel the light moving into your trillions of cells and feel that shift in your genetic encoding. And as you command that shift, feel the lightness and the opening that belongs to you, because you are here for a different purpose, for a different destiny. And open your eyes. And take a deep breath now. And really feel that you are no longer a part of that history. So that memorial for you can be something different. Of course, we feel for all, especially the young people who have died because governments have said they had to, and mothers and fathers have said they had to enlist and be a part of that and die for it. And so feel that shifting from you, that we no longer accept that it is no longer a part of our own truth. And then let's go to where that begins, because where it begins is governments, leaders, powerful, the powers that be, saying, we want your oil, we want your land, we want your whatever it is, or you cannot trespass or take from us. And that unwillingness or inability to find a way, not just to say, okay, we can balance that somehow, but actually that we can each give something to it that makes others safe, that makes war not a necessity, not a possibility or inevitability, but something truly of a past that we have left behind. And so let us contemplate at this moment all of the powers that be, however you see them, whether you see them as your governments, or you see them as institutions or corporations or bodies of people who still have that profound sense of justification. I will kill you because. And in today's world, we have a problem with that because we don't, as we did in these wars that started our Memorial Day and yours as well, where soldiers saw each other die, where they saw the bodies, where they looked into the eyes of the enemy and brought about in themselves something that could not be justified. Because not only dying in war has been terrible, a cost to humanity and society, but the aftermath of war, the concept of why did they die and I survive, or the imprint of the horrors that we have perpetrated or that we have perceived or witnessed. All of that. And so let us then imagine through the power of light that we can extend into the powers that be, into our governments, a place where that holding, that potential of war as the answer can be released. Close your eyes, take a deep breath into your body, and ask your own higher self to show you. Maybe it's your government or a corporation or some group of people, maybe who you feel is your enemy that cannot be rectified in terms of your relationship. Just see who comes to you at this moment to bring about this illumination. Do it now. Mm-hmm. And bring them into your mind's eye. And ask them where they hold that justification, that focal point. Maybe all of our militaries whose whole purpose is war. We need to redefine military so that it is not just the blind eye of rockets and weapons of destruction that step us back from the horrors and the realities of war, but the very intention of war. So bring them into your mind's eye. Ask them where they hold that purpose in their being, in their bodies. You might see a place in the body or an organ in the body. Just see what they show you. Might be all through their bodies and through their auric fields, which is what I'm seeing. And ask them what frequency of light would open a pathway of illumination so that they can turn all of the preparation, all of the focus of war into another octave. A war against disease, a war against imbalance or suffering or hunger or the lack of home. What is the color that will help them to, again, trade in what they have found to be or been taught to be the purpose or the justification of war, and to be able to open to new illumination, to trade those qualities of strategies, of learning about the enemy, the honorable opponent, into something that serves a higher purpose. See what color of light represents that they ask for from you. That might be very interesting. And whatever frequency of light comes to the fore, reach up into the cosmos and pull that frequency of light down through the top of your head and laser it out to them, to those warmongers. And feel them being fed that, so that something isn't taken away, but something is added, an opening, a quickening, an expansion of consciousness and illumination that will allow them to use their qualities and their pretext in a way that serves a higher good for the future of our planet. and even, if you will, the future of space. Little more. Send that light. And take a deep breath into your body and open your eyes. And now, again, how to transmute this negativity of memorials, of fallen warriors, into something that allows us ourselves to take that energy onto a higher octave. Let us extend the power of opening to safety around this planet. Every day we hear about people who will get into a boat and die at sea rather than suffer the abuse and the torture in the homeland that they love, where they cannot return. And those who would return them to that, knowing that it's not just death, it's terrible death, and it's a scar on the psychogenetics of future generations. So let us send an energy that brings that possibility of safety and therefore peace to everyone around this planet. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and gather to you 7.5 to 7.6, whatever it is, billions of souls on this planet, humanity, into your mind's eye, and ask humanity what frequency of light would begin to open, pull away the veil, and find that capacity of safety that brings us all to a place of peace. Peace within the self, peace with the purpose or the life that we have created, what we have done, what we have felt, what we believe, and that of everyone else. See what color humanity shows you that would bring safety and then peace. And draw exactly that frequency of light. Remember that light is the source of all that exists in the material world and the manifest world. Draw that color down from the cosmos and really focus on it passing through you. Feel it shifting you as it comes down into your stomach, into your solar plexus, and laser that frequency of light out to all of humanity. And feel humanity sucking it in, drawing it in. And as they draw in that color, that frequency of light, that they find that sense of safety, that there's a relaxing, that there's an illumination. There is a point of reference for a potential solution, many solutions, many ways through the static of now, and to the illumination of forever now. Continue to send the light and allow yourself to perceive what happens until you feel a shift to it now. And take a deep breath into your body and open your eyes. And then the very last conversation that I would pass to you, a little homework would be, or we can do it very quickly. And let us imagine all of military beings who have died from the dawn of time and open a pathway into the light so that any spirits that are left and actually influencing war today, because when a spirit dies in violence, the spirit often will stay. When the body dies in violence, the spirit will stay. And it keeps repeating that death. So it will repeat the psychogenetics, the purpose of that. So if we imagine that we're clearing the earth itself, my higher self has said that part of the reason we are having global warming, that we are having all of these earth tragedies right now is that the earth is smothering. It has to go into the ring of fire. It has to go into this disturbance, this violent disturbance, because within the earth are the spirits of all of those that have died in military violence for all those reasons. Close your eyes now and just ask your higher self to show you. You might see a part of the world or the whole world. Imagine within the soils of the world all of the bodies, all of those that have died in war. And see who's left, what spirits are there. This is such a gift that we can give. It doesn't touch us. It's not going to come into you. But you, from a higher perspective, can see all of these spirits. And now take a deep breath and draw white light from the cosmos down through the top of your head and laser it out and allow it to spread out like a beautiful, huge avenue of white light that is moving up, up, up into higher frequencies. And invite all of these spirits who have been entrapped through dying in wars to come to the white light and to move on to it and be lifted home to those that love them, home to peace and safety and soul. So feel as if thousands and millions of them are moving onto this conveyor belt of white light and going home into the cosmic light. And take a deep breath and open your eyes. So you might want to do this a number of times until you feel as if there are no spirits left caught, but that each for that point, the many lifetimes that we have died in war, all of those points of spirit have been released into the light. The world would thank you. The mothers and the fathers and the partners and the children and Earth itself would thank you, as do I. Great, great love. And let us now find the way through darkness into safety and peace. Great love.